Yo, what is going on? And welcome to another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life, part of the Belief Network. I'm Ramsey Abushala, editor-in-chief of UrbanPitch.com. To my left, Julio Monterosa, executive director of Vibes. Julio, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. I missed the last pod with this special guest, but I'm happy I'm here now.
Yeah. Julio came back. He had to come back for this time because we have a returning guest to the show, joining us via Zoom. Houston Dash defender, 5-time NWSL Biceps of the Year award winner, Paige Nielsen is joining the show again via Zoom. Paige, what's going on? So great to have you back.
Thank you for having me. That's crazy. That's a crazy accolade. But yeah, I've been working on my biceps.
and you brought the hat. We love the Urban Pitch swag coming back on the show. Last time you were here, we gifted you with the snapback, and it looks great on you, by the way.
Thank you.
We had Sarah Gordon, Kaylin Acosta, but I think with the fashion person is here today.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What's going on?
It's the green that sold me.
Yeah, the green bill. That's like the added touch. Like if you know, it's like a vintage stuff. There's like the people who stand for the gray underbill. But I think I got green under mine too, right? Yeah. Let's go. Let's.
Damn.
I mean,
I didn't read the memo.
Who didn't get the memo? Yeah. We're all had it here. That's crazy. But Paige, what's going on? So it's so good to have you on. We had you on. Was it 2 years ago now? But joining us from a new city, that's why we couldn't have you in the studio. But how have you been? In that time period since obviously going to Houston. How have you taken to the new city, and what are some of the biggest differences from when you were in LA?
Yeah, I think one, it's been hard. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Sure.
I think Angel City was a really special chapter for me. The visibility of the club, the fans, what they fought for women's sports. It taught me a lot about the impact that the league could have. And I think you can see how impactful Angel City has been with expansion clubs and the league as a whole. And I'm so blessed to be a part of that. Houston, really interested me because it was a new challenge and a new fit. And I think when you get older, you look for those new challenges and you don't really stay in your comfort zone, right? I was a part of DC, kind of growing that from, it could have been a club with a lot of future, a lot of fans, a cool stadium, love DC as a city. And I felt like I helped grow that club with women's soccer or women's sports. And then I went to LA and I feel like I was a part of that. And now I feel like I'm a part of something really big in Houston, and that excites me, if that makes sense.
How do you feel about this new season? Because y'all hit your stride towards the end of the season with Houston. How do you feel this season is going to be? Like, coming in, people were coming from injuries. You had a full squad towards the end. How do you think the season is going to turn out for y'all?
I think people are going to be really surprised. I think I saw, I try and stay off social media. We got grade C's or something with the off-season stuff. We got a lot of young players, but we got a lot more staff, a lot more buy-in, and we're finally finding an identity, and I think it's really exciting. I think people should be scared. For sure.
Yeah, we're gonna open. That's gonna be the clip for the pull quote for the episode right there. What is so scary about Houston this year? What should people be staying up at night for?
I would say being super unpredictable, but also just not giving up till the end of the whistle. The second half of the season last year, we were down, I think. We set a league record on points coming from down a goal, which means we have depth, which means our subs are important. It means our starters are important, but people can't just put off the pedal, the gas. That they should have to compete with us for 90 minutes or else type of mentality. And hopefully we can score some early goals this year, but just I want teams to know that like we're gonna give it our all for 100 minutes, 90 minutes, 120 minutes, whatever the extra time is. But yeah, we're coming after people,
Yeah, that's an
and
interesting.
we gotta just prove who we are, you know.
Yeah, right. And that's an interesting stat because as an Angel City fan, watching the team last year, I think they had the opposite stat where they dropped the most points from positions in the lead. So it's kind of an interesting, dichotomy there. And obviously you want to be on the other side of that and being like that unpredictable team and coming back and, there's always that kind of thought in the back of your head is like, even though we're ahead on Houston, like we cannot like let the foot up off the gas, like you said. So is that like a team mentality? What goes through that? Is that something from the coaching staff on? Is it something from the players? Who kind of instilled that as like a team thing?
I think there's multiple factors. It's players, coach, the history of the club, the heat of Houston, right? We train
Right,
in
right.
we have to train at 7 a.m. Because there's league rules. The CBA required something where we can't train at a certain heat or temperature with moisture, and we have to move our training to like 7 a.m. But we're in the black the whole time. We have to take like mandatory 4-minute breaks, and just playing here, it takes a lot of grit.
You're right.
It really does. It really does. And the summer starts now,
Right.
so it's 85 degrees with humidity right now, and it's spring until like literally the start of November, and so it takes a special person to play here, and kind of, I fainted 3 times. The
Whoa.
first year I came here. I was not used to the humidity, the heat. I have hyperhidrosis. I sweat too much. I call it like good homeostasis, but
Right.
that's just me.
Yeah. You got
Yeah,
an active. You got an
yeah,
active internal temperature, right? Like
yeah,
you're
yeah,
good at
yeah, yeah.
regulating. Yeah. But
I'm
I'm.
really good, and my body. Yeah, my body's like, nah, like
Yeah.
let's just tone it down for a little bit. So that took a while. But I think, and then also like maybe it's not, we don't have beaches, we don't have mountains, we don't have Hollywood, we don't have New York City. Like Houston's a really cool place. It's diverse. It's number 3 in population of the city. People don't really understand that, but we have to prove like this is like kind of a dope place to live type
Mhm.
of attitude, and
Right.
that's what we bring every day, or that's what we try and bring every day.
Yeah, but you grew up in Nebraska has humidity as well, does it not? And then DC as well is humid. Is it just completely on another level in Houston?
I don't remember Nebraska. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember anything past. I really don't. Past the age of like 20. I remember thick grass, and I was awful at soccer for it, and that's why I wanted to play basketball. Uh,
There's a random
but North
statue of
Carolina
you.
has,
There's a random statue in Nebraska that you've never seen.
Yeah.
dude, crazy. Yeah, yeah. I thought I was terrible at soccer. It was just like the craziest patch of grass that would mess up my touch. Um, but North Carolina was bad. There's nothing that compares to Houston humidity. There's literally nothing. Florida maybe for the afternoon for like 2 hours, and that's
Right.
it.
Right.
Houston, it's nonstop. You walk outside and you start drenching in sweat, and it's tough.
Yeah, and I know last time we spoke, we kind of bestowed upon you the title of the Angel City Director of Vibes. Did you kind of take that title into Houston with you? What has been the team dynamic with you as like a spark plug, natural spark plug, right? How did you kind of like ingrain yourself within the clubhouse?
I think that's been the hardest part for me. I honestly, and I tell people this every day, Allie Riley was the best captain I've ever played for. She was also my biggest hype man.
Yeah.
uh, And I'm a natural leader. But I also have fun and I don't take things too seriously. But when I have someone, a counterpart, like kind of uplifting me, it's easier to lead. And I think that's the biggest challenge, but also growth I've had at Houston. I haven't really necessarily had that hype woman, and that's okay. Like I'm old now. I'm old, and we literally have 20-year-olds, like 20-year-olds, I swear. So I've had to navigate that, and it's been a difficult challenge for me. But I hope I'm growing in that role. And I think this is why I kind of like came to Houston, challenge myself, but also help grow other people, grow the club, and yeah, that's been the most difficult because I think I'm really chill and really fun, and I don't take things too seriously. But at this club, at this moment, because they've been established, have seen a lot of turnover, have had like public eyes not like too keen on our development. I think like it like makes me tap into my serious side, which is unfortunate, but also fortunate. Like
Right.
I'm ready to fight for this club, and I'm trying to balance it, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I read an article that said you're the type of player that you will love to play with, but will hate to play against. Um, yeah, but going back to being a natural leader, I saw another pod that you said you were not the greatest with your fitness, and you had a teammate that helped you out doing the 120s. Do you take that now with your leadership role, like knowing that sometimes the younger players just might need a little more, a little push?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, but honestly, I'm super impressed with our group. Our rookies came in and they crushed our fitness test. Beat me. Beat some only.
Dang.
Yeah, no, they did. And I'm usually pretty fit. Now some college people don't understand like the longevity of the season,
Right.
how important like strength training is in the off season because during the season, especially in the heat, you lose a lot of muscle, and so I focus on that. But I also ran like I wanted to pass the fitness test, but at a like kind of barely pass because I build. So I'm like super experienced, and I understand what I need going into an 8-week preseason, right? And these rookies came out like they were trying to prove something, and I'm so like blessed to have them on our team. I just hope they know how long of our season is. And so I haven't had to really carry that. And I think that's like a testament of the new generation coming in. What I have to carry is my wisdom and telling them that there's ups and downs of the seasons. These rookies, these college players come from a 3-month season, and then they get another opportunity next year for 4 years without maybe their contract being declined or this is a job now.
Right.
It's a professional job, and I think there's a huge jump between being the hardest worker in the room, which you can be and a lot of people are, to being the wisest and doing what you can to be the best version of yourself for that season.
Right. Yeah, I live on the work smarter, not harder pedestal. That's like like, not that I'm allergic to hard work, but like I would always, if there's an easier way to get the job done, right, I'm going to take that 9 times out of 10. But
Rate my professor, like take my classes depending on homework given.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you
You
mentioned,
look at any CEO. Sorry, they take
no, go
shortcuts.
ahead.
Okay, but okay,
Yeah.
next.
No, keep going.
Keep it going.
Zuckerberg.
So it's okay.
I gotta be a CEO.
No, we don't want to be like that though.
Not at all.
That's not what I was insinuating. I don't see myself
Yeah.
in a person like Zuckerberg's image, right? I don't. That's not like the. I don't aspire to him or like, you know, some of these other technocrats, whatever you want to call them.
I don't want to give my kids number names.
Yeah, right. My kids are gonna have like regular, like human names and not like dashes or whatever in them. But anyways,
that's great. I just wanted a chance for you to clear the air.
Exactly, because the people are saying, and that's the last thing I want is for there to be some kind of like like unsureness out there. I want to make sure
that segment was for the parents.
Exactly.
They can feel good about it.
Thank you, though. Thank you for providing me that opportunity to make it clear. So
you're welcome.
That's why we love you. And so, but you mentioned the players being ready, right? The growing level I don't know if it's a growing level of professionalism from the college ranks with, you know, now it's like it's a wild west with players getting paid, and I don't even know what the atmosphere of NIL is like in college soccer. But do you see that like having a role, maybe like the CBA changing and the absence of the draft? Like, what are some of the things that you think play into like the growing professionalism of the league as a whole, with the younger players especially?
That's a good question. I think it was very imperative actually to get rid of the draft. I think it's a global standard that you have an agent, and then if you want to go play on a team, you have the best opportunity and you go to that team before or after you come in trial or whatever. I think it, unfortunately or fortunately, it worked out for me for getting drafted. I took a job at Bank of America, sales and trading, and I got drafted. I was gonna go be a CEO. I was gonna be a finance I'm so happy I didn't. But I got drafted, and I was like, you know what, screw it. My mom passed, and short life, and I was like, what would Kathy do? And she would be like, just go for it, right? So had I not been drafted, I probably wouldn't be in the league today. So I think that's a little downfall, but there's a lot of opportunities for trialists to go now visit teams. There's a lot of teams in the league. There's a lot more teams overseas, and the free agency stuff is, I think it's super important. Teams don't own your rights. It's like a company owning your rights but not paying you, right? They're like, come and market.
Yeah. Be
right?
a walking billboard for us.
Yeah. So Bank of America, right? They offered me a job, but just picture them owning my rights, but they're like, come to New York and kind of prove yourself. It could take 3 years, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, just figure it out. So I had 3 jobs back in the day. And I just couldn't imagine, you play at the highest level, top 0.001%, and and teams just owning rights, which is really unfortunate. So I think free agency was a huge win for our league, especially because we want to make this league the best in the world, and now we can have people coming over and. The new rule that passed, there's a lot of controversy over it about 2 players. Yeah, 2 players that can go over the salary cap. They have a lot of things that they mark off, which can be disagreeable. I think a lot of us are kind of annoyed about some of those stats to mark off, because you could be probably one of the best players in the league, but maybe you're too old and you're not on the national team. Mm-hmm. National team stuff is sometimes political, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I really don't understand criteria, especially because a lot of African players are kind of left out of that criteria because they don't show up in major World Cups or FIFA tournaments. So that was an issue for us. But I like that they're trying to make our league still the top league of the world, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and then it's like they have to be in the voting for ESPN or certain outlets, right? If they're in the top players of the year or something like that, which is also it's not it's subjective, right? It's there could be certain biases to certain players, or like being in the media world. Like I know like some journalists like don't necessarily like do the full work when it comes to this stuff, and they're just following like the narratives and all that stuff. So that was really interesting to me, because I think it was almost like it felt like that was rushed in, and the Players Association, like there was some like contention there as well. But I don't like, that was kind of a crazy thing to try to compete with the WSLs and the Liga and the French leagues and all that stuff. So I don't know, like I didn't know where to feel either when I heard of the new rule, because obviously you want to be like, I want everybody to get paid, and I'm sure you do too, but like we want to make sure it's done the right way too, right?
Yeah, and like, yeah, it was rushed, obviously, from
Yeah.
one player, which Trinity, we all know,
Yeah.
and she should never get back. She should never get backlash for getting paid with what she's worth.
Yeah.
That's not on
Yeah.
her, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Um, I think she should get paid the most amount of money, But yeah, definitely wasn't probably solved in the most correct way. But I feel like, honestly, this is how the league has ran since the start, and it's try things, do things, then correct them after, right?
Right.
And honestly, it's worked.
Yeah.
So it's worked at the detriment of players, maybe the detriment of clubs, but if the league and the CBA, or sorry, the PA check is the checks and balances. The league is doing the best they can to make this league profitable, which I think they should. That's how they get paid, and I think that's fair. That's like in our best interest. But I think the PA is doing a really good job making those checks and balances, and seeing if we can correct things along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And then another big thing with the new CBA, in addition to the free agency and the removal of the draft, was the approval for trades, right?
Yes.
The trade approval clause. As someone that's been traded in their career, is that something like you look back on as like at the younger players and you're like, man, you have no idea how we had it, like
Back in my days.
Yeah, like you guys have it so good you don't even understand. Like, is that something that you carry, or are you more like finally, yes, this is what we deserve?
Mm-hmm. I struggle with the trade thing. I have noticed that a lot of clubs act ill towards people that they want to either push out or buy out, and it's less friendly to be like, hey, this club would pay you this much. Do you want to trade? And this is like a very unpopular opinion. I think guaranteed contracts are a must. I have a lot of friends that are impacted by this and getting pushed out and or bought out. Here's the issue with free agency, right? And we have this new rule where we can have 7 internationals per club, and some clubs do a really good job of getting green cards for internationals, right? So they put. I'll just use Washington Spirit for an example. Deborah Abiodun is one of my favorite players for Nigeria, and I knew she was coming to the league, but they put her to Dallas Trinity for a little bit until either they got her a green card or an international slot. Wow, I'm telling you a lot. Opened up, and
You like it?
and so yeah. So here's the like rapid growth of the league. So there's a lot of internationals and there's a lot of young players that are forgoing college and or that clubs want to invest in and create a value within. So all the middle people kind of get screwed. And
Right.
I've seen a lot of people have like decent salaries finally, right? They got paid 5,000 10 years ago, and now they finally have a decent salary, but they're gonna invest in this young player and they're trying to buy their contract out.
Yeah.
And it's super unfortunate. Gosh, what was your question? I don't remember. But I think I understand that change happens fast in this league, and that's where we need to go to be the best league in the world. But I I struggle to see the direct value that that has at the moment.
Of
Like some of the trade no trade clause, because right, if a team traded me and the other team agreed, they would probably be super happy to have me, but that's not happening right now.
interesting. So it's more of like, instead of just doing the trade straight up, it's like you have to kind of tiptoe around it, and it kind of creates like awkward situations, right?
You got to make the work environment a little
Yeah,
harder for the player to come in on a day to day and out.
exactly. You can straight up tell them that they're not going to play.
Yeah, yeah.
Because unfortunately, you did get traded, but as soon as you got traded, you came into Houston and got 4 more years. So that shows that a team actually wanted you, opposed to like
For sure.
tiptoeing.
For sure.
Yeah, that's an interesting, because
Yes.
from the conversations I've had with, whether it's players or media members or just fans, like that was like a very positive thing. But that's an interesting point that I didn't really think about. And I think like being traded is very, like, to me it's I was never pro athlete, so like it's a completely foreign thing. Like you said, Bank of America. Like imagine like being
Chase.
traded from Bank of America to Chase or Wells Fargo for like cash considerations. It's like, to me, it's such a foreign
Allocation
thought.
money.
Yeah, exactly. Total allocation money or like whatever. But in sports, it's like a thing, right?
Yeah.
And like transactions are made across the board. And I don't know. It's such a unique situation that and you mentioned like the league is changing, and as like a trailblazing entity, like it's hard without any like precedents to kind of look back on, and it's just kind of like try things and then keep what works and change what doesn't, you know? So it's an interesting place to be in for the league, I think.
As a player, when you get traded,
And to be fair, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Go.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think we do have our precedents. I think the MLS, I mean, they started their league a long time ago without the TV dealer. We can like look at the MLS and a lot of men's leagues in so many ways, and now they also have a lot of international, but our also youth development maybe is struggling because of how many international spots. I could go down a rabbit hole with this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I did Anheuser-Busch internship with the NWSL, and I did Columbia Sports business program through that they like went down the history of sports, and it's all very fascinating to me. Like about the media coverage, TV coverage, the amount of money people invested in, and like why aren't we being invested in? There's so many things that I could talk about, but
Yeah, we'll get the webinar going. We'll start this off like as a spin-off of the podcast, weekly webinar series with Paige Nielsen,
Talk.
the business side of sports, and I mean I'm tuned into that.
Definitely,
I think
we
I
love
speak
it.
for a lot
We
of people,
love
and I'm tuning into that weekly. That's must see television, I think.
I wanted to get in your trade because we had Jose here, played for the Galaxy Kansas City. He talked about when he got traded. Besides being an emotional roller coaster, how easy the league made it for him. MLS made it for him. Like they had people. He just had to make one call and was like, "Hey, I'm getting sent out." Like, and the league took care of everything. Is that the same thing with the NWSL?
are you asking for my trade specifically?
Yes.
Okay, my experience was interesting, right? So this is going along with how fast this league is changing, and I knew I was going to be a free agent at the end of the year, and I did not have an agent at the time for a long time, and I went on the off-season FC, that
Right.
reality
Yeah.
TV
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
recently,
Yeah.
and Maria Sanchez, a couple of people recommended this agency, and I was like, okay, I'll give them a chat. And I finally got an agency, and they were awesome. They loved me as a player. They were just like, we're gonna be super honest. Where all my other agents in the past were just kind of trying to find me a team, and whatever was available. This agency like was amazing, and so I was gonna be a free agency at the end of the year of Angel City, 2024, free agent, sorry, and I was getting ready for that, and so many people were. It was a huge change. Everyone was going to be a free agent, and in April, my agent was like, "Let's see like what people are going to offer, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Like, what's the harm in that?"
Yeah.
And I think Angel City knew one. They got fined. They were over budget that they
Right.
couldn't really
Right.
afford all the players that they had. But two, they knew they're probably gonna lose me at the end of the season because they heard what other teams were offering me and they didn't have a budget space for that. Um, I would have stayed for a penny, but my wife is bougie, and like I love it. I'm just gonna lay it out. I loved the fans. I loved the community. I loved everything about LA. I loved my sister, and I've seen a lot of life, so I don't really need the money or the things. But my wife, that's what she likes, and so she would just like always ask, right? And to be fair, my body's gone through a lot, and my joint, like I have scar tissue everywhere. And she's great, right? You worked hard all your life. You should probably get paid some value of what you're worth. And so I entertained it, but the day where it happened, I was fully planning on ending the season with Angel City. I really wanted that season to work. I loved my friends, my family, the community, the fans, and then like last minute, I don't know if people know the triangles at work, right? Agents, clubs, GMs, coaches, and then there's me. And I think I only asked for like a little bit of a bump to stay, and but they were already over budget, and I had no idea. Like they got fined a week after, and it was the exact amount of my salary, I think.
Wow.
And yeah, so didn't know what was happening. I told my agent I wanted to stay, and but he also was like, "Listen, when a club is desperate, you gotta take desperation."
Right.
Which I'm super glad I did now because a lot of my friends who are ballers, by the way, by the end of that year, free agency opened up and teams were crazy. Like they barely could get a deal, and yeah, negotiating that was like a big learning curve for me, where I am a product. I'm a
Sure.
product of a business.
Yeah.
That's I want fans to understand that, and I think fans get emotional towards players, and I think that's such an amazing thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But understand that we also are like products of a business, like and like people aren't making money yet, and that's okay.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
and sports have to make hard decisions all the time. So, oh gosh, that was my trade. And what else did you ask?
No, but no, you answered
I don't
it.
remember.
No. So the trade, basically, when it came to like the business part, but when it came to like moving out, getting your stuff from one city all the way to another city, did the
Oh yeah,
NWSL
yeah, yeah.
help out with
Oh
that?
that. Yes, they did. They did. They were great. My wife was an all star during this time, so she had a job and she stayed in L.A. She got a job, right? She moved from D.C. to L.A. Didn't have a job at first, but like got a job right away, and then she stayed for a month and helped pack everything up. I only had 2 days. And Houston tried to fly me to like Portland to play Portland, I think, and I was like, no. I was crying. I was sobbing. My best friends were on the team.
Yeah.
I was late at night. I think I was drinking wine at 3 a.m. And they're like, "Can you come play Portland tomorrow?" And I was like, "Oh no." I was like, "Oh no. No, you don't want me to play Portland tomorrow." Um, but thank God for my wife. I packed a lot in 2 days, and honestly, it's not like the NFL where they just have a packer and they can like helicopter it through, and they have millions of dollars. But the league helps, and then clubs also help. So Houston Dash helped me reimburse some things. Our mover was a one man show though, and destroyed everything. But we got reimbursed. we got reimbursed, and so I went to team housing in Houston for a little bit until I could find an apartment suitable for my wife while she
Right.
was still in LA. And I mean, you want to think it's seamless. It's not. It's rough. And then you have to go. I can't tell you the pressure that like I had to come and save this team, right? They didn't. I mean, maybe they needed saving, but I loved all the girls and they just needed a couple things. But I felt that pressure to save a team, but also worrying about my marriage, my dogs, moving. It's not easy unless you're making like $50 million like an NFL quarterback. It's not.
Yeah.
How do you lock in though with all that going on? Not the Portland game, but the following game.
Yeah.
How do you lock in and play those games? Because emotions, you have all those emotions going through your head.
For me, it's easy. Soccer's my outlet. I don't think during soccer, it's how I've always expressed myself. It's how I've connected with people. People say I'm outgoing. I don't really know fully how to talk to people until I'm like super confident and people show me respect on the field and I'm doing my thing. Um, that's like a childhood trauma thing. But yeah, yeah. But so yeah, for me, it's seamless to play on the field, but it's not seamless to be a leader or to feel purpose in that moment. And yeah, I honestly went through some hard times, for me, like, and I think for a lot of people, you want to find purpose in what you do, otherwise it gets a little dark and that was the hardest thing coming from Angel City to Houston. I know there's an amazing community in Houston, and I love the fans that show up. But I felt like I was a part of something um, bigger
Mm-hmm.
in Angel City, and I want to grow that in Houston. It just feels a little lonelier. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. And then really quick, because we're running a long time, but before we go, you mentioned your best friends were on Angel City. You mentioned Ali Riley was your hype man. I saw recently when you guys were in the Coachella Invitational, you guys were able to reconnect. What was that like? What does she mean to you? And I feel like as a talisman of not just Angel City, but like Los Angeles soccer, having grown up here and now branching into media, like what is your relationship with Ali, and what does she mean to someone like you who's can relate to her with a lot of the stuff that she's been through too?
Dude, she's like my superhero. I don't know how to answer that question because she's been through it all. She's older, so maybe the league wasn't fully
Mm,
ready by then. She played in Sweden for seven
yeah.
years, learned Swedish. She's been through tough injuries. Only child, by the way, which no offense to only children, but she doesn't give that off.
Hmm.
All she cares about, all she cares about is other people and other people's joy and highlighting other people. I mean, she's so effortless. Like, so Alyssa Thompson, first year, Angel City. I was like, oh my god, with my hands, what do I do with an 18-year-old? I don't know. you know, maybe I'll like, maybe I'll like tackle her on the field. I don't know. Not sure. Literally don't know. But Allie can just do things like make people feel special and lift them up and um again, like I felt special, but she makes everyone feel special, and I think um, that's who she is, and that's who she's gonna or what she's gonna carry on to her career, whether that's broadcasting. I think one of her passions is like storytelling and uplifting others. So I hope she goes into that type of career. I think she'd be great at like a 30 for 30 on ESPN, but for
Mm,
women.
yeah.
I wish 30 for 30 like had women on it, but yeah, she's gonna be great
Yeah.
with everything that she does, and I have important dates on my calendar that she's told me about, whether it's personal or business. But she's always gonna have a special place with me, anyways, and she's gonna thrive.
Yeah. Listen, Paige, this was a super, super insightful conversation.
Honestly.
You're like, it's so much fun getting a chance to talk to you and catching up with you again. And again, I can't thank you enough for taking the time and speaking with us. And I know you got busy, like with the NWSL season coming up, training and everything like that. So appreciate you. Thank you again for coming and taking the time to talk to us.
Nah, you guys are the best. That's great. Have me on whenever. I love to talk about myself.
Yeah. Well, we got the business side of the game. Lecture series coming up. So keep it tapped in with that.
And I have to, because you've played in every city. There's like I'm Salvadorian, so you have a DMV, a big Salvadorian community, LA, and then Houston, I think,
and DC too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
So you're a Salvadorian at this point.
Certified. Yeah.
One of us.
Certified. That's amazing.
This has been another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, A Beautiful Game of Life. For Paige Nielsen, Julio Matarosa, I'm Ramsey Abushala. We'll see y'all next week.